are now recording. Recording. We are now recording. Recording.
Are we recording?
We are recording.
You really should let me know that we're recording.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't recording about 10 minutes ago when you said that really insulting thing.
Oh, thank
oh, no, wait. I was recording.
This is why we're supposed to do things through a process. I gave you a flowchart to follow.
I know. But I was just so overwhelmed by it that I just went, I'm going to go with my own thing. Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
I'm Andy.
You are. Hello, Andrew.
Oh, Jemima Puddle Duck.
I know you don't like being called Andrew, so I do apologise for that. It was sort of on the tip of my mouth, and my brain couldn't stop it coming out. So I do apologise. Hello, Andy.
Hello, Gemma. I couldn't react quick enough to think, what could Gemma be short for? I will just come to the first thing that comes to mind, Jemima Puddle Duck.
Yeah, which has got nothing because it's completely a different name. But there we have
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is tenuous links.
Yes. Andrew and Jemima Puddle Duck are recording this week. Whack.
Welcome to Discussing Halibut Nonsense.
Yes, exactly. So we'll do a quick catch up because we have got a topic this week which has been brought to us by Andy, and we've also got our salty tadpole interactions as well, which is fantastic. So yay, we got quite a lot of responses for this one. So how have you been this last however long?
Yeah, when did it was Guy Fawkes night, wasn't it? Guy Fawkes
I think
week.
So. Yes, it was. Yeah, that was.
Oh no, I think there was a filling one, wasn't there, as well afterwards, because I had to do a retraction.
Yes.
But yes, generally good. Generally good.
Yeah. Yes. I can barely remember when I'm recording at the moment, and I'm the regular person who's here, so I don't know when you're recording. Definitely not.
That's it. They're your low ones.
What, when you're recording or when I'm recording with the other one? Oh my goodness, I went into the red then with my laugh. I'm sorry, salty tadpoles.
Yeah. I'm sure the other one.
Well, the other one that doesn't listen, so it's all good.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm his super sub, so the fact that I'm on here infrequently suggests to me that you do see a numbers dive. So I'm not worth having as a regular guest. Not that I'm available regularly.
Well, I think it's more the availability than anything else, Andy. But yes.
No, it's good. It's, life is good. 2024 has started well. Happy New Year.
Oh, shut up. Shut your face.
I hope 2024 is finding you well so far.
Well, no, my auntie died. Sorry.
Yes,
That's really bad. I shouldn't laugh because she really did. But, so no, I'm not really. 2024 is pretty much the same as 2023, and 2020. But,
all right, so we'll put that back in a box and put that back in the corner. Same time next year?
Yeah, absolutely. But no, obviously I'm just laughing, but yeah.
Well, if you don't, you cry.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not being insensitive to anyone who's listening, but it's all about the funny stuff. And of course, because somebody says, is your 2024 really amazing? You have to say, no, my auntie died in a funny way.
Yeah, Debbie Downer.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a British it's a British podcast. So yeah, everything is fine. Thank you.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yes.
Fucked up, insecure, neurotic and emotional, but fine.
Yes. But everything is normal, let's say. It's a new normal, but everything is normal. And I'm sipping on a lovely cup of tea that I made myself, and I did a grand job, so I'm quite pleased with myself.
Well, you're your own worst critic.
Yeah, to be honest, I am. So, definitely. But have you got any Codswallop this week?
Do I have any Codswallop? Let me have a look at the list that I was mandated to keep.
Okay, because I actually haven't got any at the moment, I don't think. But I'm sure something will spur me on if you get angry about something.
So, a couple of them are first world problems. Mm-hmm. And the other one's just a long-standing gripe. So, I might have mentioned this one on my last foray into Spotify. I don't know if you know, I do a lot of sim racing.
Do you?
I don't know if I've mentioned that before.
That's quite interesting, Andy, but it would be amazing to hear you properly. What are you not doing right now? There we go.
What am I not doing? Sorry?
Exactly. Stop it. God, it's like working with bloody monkeys.
Well, the amount of hair I've got, I might as well be.
Not on your head, though.
No, that's it. That's my baboon head.
Yeah.
Nice and red.
Andy the Baboon Head. It could be the episode title.
So, yeah, when Matt's not on Discord and there's no one around, I wanted to basically listen to podcasts, so I could just kind of half listen to that and just focus on the job in hand in racing. Mm-hmm. So I thought, because the app I use on my phone, Podcast Addict, they have a website, but you don't have your playlists and stuff. You can only sort of find and play individual episodes. So I thought, okay, I'll invest into Spotify. Fine. But unfortunately, their fucking podcast playlist, Your Episodes is what it's called. It's a fucking nightmare.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, unless it's just me, right? I mean, feel free to basically shout at me, listeners, and maybe drop Gemma a line, and I'll probably hear it in 4 to 6 weeks' time.
Yeah. Firstly, they're probably going to complain at the fact that you just called them listeners rather than their real name. But,
salty tadpoles.
Yeah.
That's just how angry I am. I've lost all relevance to the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a first world problem, but for me, I'm used to when I add something to a playlist, typically it goes at the bottom of the list.
Okay. So
you basically listen down the list.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And if something's not quite in the right order, you can give it a cheeky.
A Queekie.
I just make things up. How do you say in English? Cheeky. Yeah, I like to give it a cheeky edit. Just move things around.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. So what you generally find is, you'll be listening to stuff that you've added in the morning, and then things will drop throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So I first started adding them to the list and thinking of it, thinking it would play down. No, when it gets to the bottom of the list, if there's nothing else unlistened from that podcast, it just stops playing. Or it then proceeds to go down everything else that hasn't been played, rather than going to basically the next episode that you've put in the queue. And there doesn't seem any seeming way to just add things in on the fly, have them go to the bottom, and if you're happy with that, you're happy with that. Or if you just want to move things around, move it around. And it just seems so counterintuitive, because it basically means you need to do a bit of mental gymnastics. So when you're looking at the new episodes that have dropped into the new episodes queue, you've got to build your playlist in reverse order, which is very counterintuitive when you're just used to going, on that one first, that one second, that one third, da.
No, I can fully understand this. So have you actually paid for Spotify at this point, or are you using it as a free service at this point?
I'm on the 3-month £10 trial.
Okay, because I was only asking because I wasn't sure if it was anything different, because I don't use Spotify, to be completely honest. I've got an iPhone, so I use Apple Podcasts sort of thing, which has recently changed as well, and it's also a bit of a ball ache. But I know. I think anyway, Owen Edmonds, one of our salty tadpoles. Hi, Owen. I think he actually uses Spotify for podcasts. So maybe he could give you some tips, because if you were, for example, if it wasn't just the fact that you were sitting at work, listening to the podcast or whatever, or, sitting at home anyway, your real drive, for example, went from where I live to Scotland, and you needed something that was going to continuously play on. That you couldn't just stop and pull over on a motorway, could you? Just to go, right, I need to add these ones now.
Yeah. Oh, let me remove these ones from the queue, add some new ones in, and then add these ones back in.
Yeah.
No, it just seems I don't think it's just Spotify. I think a lot of these streaming apps that have incorporated podcasts in haven't really given it much thought. Because, you could use just a standard playlist that where when you do add things in, it adds it to the top and then adds everything subsequently underneath. But the problem with the Spotify traditional playlists, let's call them, is that they don't auto-remove. Because that's what you want from a podcast playlist, is once you've listened to it, remove it from the list, because it's unlikely, unless I touch on this in my third Codswallop, unless you're a fucking lunatic fan, you very rarely keep that stuff in your immediate playlist. If you want to re-listen, then you'll probably go back and add an episode in to a playlist, later on. But you don't traditionally keep your podcast episodes in a static list.
No, like with the ones that I have, mark them as played, and so then they won't appear again, kind of thing. But I do need to queue up podcasts now. So it's like when you've before it used to just like you said, if for example, if I was listening to the Tell 'em Steve Dave Patreon, which I'm quite a lot behind, so it would kind of like I could go through all of the ones that I hadn't not seen, and it would just play one after the other sort of thing, and it would kind of play backwards. So, like it would be like this week's episode, then the previous week's episode, but I wasn't really bothered about that kind of thing, Yeah. But now, you've got to sit there and actually cue it to actually record, to play next,
Yeah.
So it is a pain in the ass. So that was the last episode that I listened to, so that's why I bring up that specific podcast. But yeah, absolutely.
Well, actually, I'll bring my third one forward because it is Tell 'em Steve Dave related.
Okay.
So, are you up to date with the 3 episodes?
I am, yes.
Yeah. So I took a rare foray into Reddit and actually stuck. Jesus, I have had nothing to drink today. Nothing.
I think the word you're looking for is stood.
Stood, yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I actually stood up for Get 'em. And, it was more of the fact that it was like the absolute sense of entitlement from people who feel that they can write in.
Yeah, I know.
That was what was my real issue.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, saying, Get 'em must stay, but basically, you absolute entitled wankers. Just someone else had already sort of posted a save Get 'em thread.
Yeah, they're all over Facebook as well.
And there were some real weird people responding, not just to my comments, but other comments. And I got
into the microphone.
I got a little bit triggered, which is why I came off of Twitter and trying to come out of Facebook.
Yeah.
Because there was one, I think there's one where I basically said, look, if you don't like something, you have options.
Yeah.
You can just not listen to the episode. I myself don't enjoy all of the non-core team who come in and do recordings. I don't enjoy all of them.
Yeah.
I don't really enjoy the paranormal stuff. I don't really enjoy the games that they do.
Is there anything you enjoy?
I enjoy the normal just bants that they do. And I don't really anymore enjoy like the holiday specials. But I don't complain about it. I just simply either don't listen to the episode if I know it's like a holiday episode, then I just don't bother listening.
Yeah.
If they break into a game or something, then I use my finger, and those arrows that point to the right.
Yeah, or they've marked up as 30 seconds, and you can fast forward. Yeah, exactly.
I get my sticky finger and I just jab at the screen until I pass the bit that I don't like. It's that easy, and that was my point. Was basically, you have options.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't complain. Like, we're thankful.
That was the other point. Yeah, I know what you're going to say, but say it.
Yeah, it's a free podcast, for fuck's sake. Is that what you're going to say? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a free podcast. So, I mean, I can understand if it was maybe to do with the Patreon, but I know that, you know, like obviously, just in case anyone is wondering as well, and if you haven't listened to Tell 'em Steve Dave, it is
you've been drinking as well then.
Yeah, exactly. All the squash and the tea, and working hard, and my mouth can't connect to my brain. But anyway, I'll let you figure out which one was true. But, yeah, so basically this is one of the big podcasts. Tell 'em Steve Dave is to do with like Kevin Smith, and they're all sort of friends and that sort of thing. So just so that people got a little bit of a background in case you're not familiar, but I'm assuming most people actually are familiar. So if it was to do with the Patreon and people saying, oh, you know, get them off the podcast, you know, the Patreon, then I suppose you could kind of listen, but I think it was the fact that Walt was getting a bit concerned that people were actually saying, well, I think they're also playing up to it as well, because they're very clever at that. But I think it was also, you know, the fact that sort of people were, you know, saying, well, I'm not going to pay for Patreon anymore if you don't take him off the free one, you know. And obviously they don't want to lose revenue, but at the same time, he's a mate, you know. It's like me saying that James isn't on the podcast anymore because sometimes he's a boring fart and he doesn't laugh at my jokes. You know, I just have to deal with it occasionally.
Well, to be fair, you did say that. And that's why I'm here today.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, even to your point on Patreon, right? I said... Yeah. Because one of the phrase I said was, you know, it's a free podcast. You have no say in content. Mm-hmm. I would say even with the stuff that you're paying for, to a certain extent, you get zero choice in the matter. Yeah. You either pay your money and accept what you're getting, or don't pay your money. But you cannot dictate what you want because you are one person. Although I didn't manage to get all that crammed in, but that was my point I was making.
Yeah. Do you only have a certain amount of characters on Reddit? Because I've never used Reddit.
No.
So.
No. I just basically gave a couple of sentences. I wasn't really in for writing War and Peace.
Okay, fair enough.
And then there was one guy who was basically sort of saying there was people who were basically defending, and then you're making the same point that, you know, there are elements of the podcast that they don't listen to. The bits that I don't like is when Walt deliberately tries to trip people up. Mm-hmm. I find that really annoying, and it's frustrating as hell. And someone else was like, oh yeah, when Bry goes off on a rant, it's like, you know, annoys me.
Oh, I love it when he goes off on a rant.
But there was one guy replied and went, Bry's random rants and Walt tripping people up is TSD in caps. If you have a problem with that, you have no business listening. To
that, did you go, well, I'm actually there for Q?
So my reply was actually quite aggressive, to be fair.
Okay.
It was like, go fuck yourself telling me what my business is, reread the comment and get back in your fucking box. You know, being a fan of something, and this is my point to everyone who's listening right now who is really kind of that sense of entitlement, is you can be a fan and not like part of something or the majority of it. It is an opinion of yours that you are entitled to. You do not have to like absolutely everything, and you cannot tell people what they can and cannot listen to or watch because they don't enjoy 100% of it. It is wrong. Get back in your box and stop being so fucking entitled.
Well, so the other side of it is as well, is that sort of jumping on your bandwagon a little bit here, but there's another Patreon that I listen to. I'm not going to name names because, you know, there'll be someone who knows who I'm talking about, but, you know, it doesn't matter anyway. But there's normally two guys on this Patreon, and the banter between them is really, really funny. And, you know, they're sort of their back and forth. It's very quick-witted and stuff like that. So this other guy had to go off and do some shows, you know, because that's his job. And so basically the other guy, his girlfriend stepped in. And, like, everybody sings her praises and everyone thinks she's the best thing since sliced bread. And, like, her as a person, I'm sure she's fine. But there's a part of me that feels her a little bit grating. And I don't know if it might be her accent, because she's got a very, she's an American accent that's kind of, they sort of delay out their words and stuff like that. I'm not...
Oh, did that vocal fry?
Yeah, sort
like,
of.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
It's not quite that, but yeah, it's that sort of thing.
Oh, is it like low energy? Like they're about to keel over?
I think actually, now I'm really thinking about it because I'm trying to put a sentence together. I think it's actually that she's trying to bring the same energy that the other co-host brings, but she needs to actually be there as herself rather than trying to act as the person who's not there. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, because it's like it's kind of like a strain. She's trying, and you got to give her due for the fact that she's trying, but at the same time, yeah. But so when this other male co-host came back, I was like, oh my god, thank God he's back. So it felt like it was like home again because it's a daily podcast. So it was like, oh god, and yeah, again, I didn't have to listen to those episodes. I did, but it's kind of like. I didn't have to, I didn't have to listen to them at all. And yeah, okay, I pay for it, but at the same time, I can't expect every week or every day, in fact, for there to be something that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of football talk on there and American football and sports and stuff like that. And I can't stand sports, as you well know. But I just sort of zone out. It's background noise for me for the most part. So, yeah, so I jumped on your bandwagon a little bit there.
No, and it's true. And to your point, like people are different in real life. And I think you've met Gittum. I've met Gittum. He's a lovely guy.
He is. He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, and he would do absolutely anything for anyone.
Yeah, I mean, he is a weirdo as well, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he is. And one of the comments that came back on Reddit, which I had to sort of slap them about a bit further, textually had to. And he went, "Oh, you're a racist against auties." I was like, "Well, autism is not a race of people, so I'm not being racist." What the fuck are you talking about? I said, if anything, I am dickheadism.
But how can anyone think that autism is a race?
Yeah, and me saying that I didn't enjoy Walt tripping people up, what the fuck has that got to do with being autistic? That's just Walt being a dick. Because he's trying to trip people up, and that's not a bad thing. It's just, for me, that's annoying. Other people find that hilarious.
I do. Comedy. I find that very funny. But
and that's comedy, isn't it? And that's the beauty.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So exactly. And it's like, you're never going to satisfy everybody, apart from our salty tadpoles, of course. But no, even you guys, I'm sure there's times when you go, oh, God, not this podcast again.
Oh, Batman again.
Yeah, I know me and Andy and James sometimes think that as well. But we don't.
Some of us do.
Some of us do, yeah, me.
Only because she does all the work.
I know, yeah. Well, let's move on to your number 2, because that was your number 3, so...
Yeah, and then, my number 2, because it literally is that shit. I think this might be a repeat one as well from times of old, but it's been a real bugbear of late, is, I do live about 10, 15 minutes away from the town centre where I lives.
Okay.
And on Uber Eats, there's a possibility to pay a smidgen extra to be the priority order.
Okay.
Which I will pay happily if it means that my food arrives just a teensy-weensy a bit warmer.
Yes, rather than stone cold or frozen.
Yeah, if they've decided to deliver 5 people before me, which, given I'm essentially like the end of the line, they're not going to deliver any further out than me. But the amount of delivery drivers I've seen going off-piste, stopping for 5 minutes, and then getting back en route. And then the ball ache of trying to get hold of Uber to say, excuse me, I've paid an extra £2.50 on top of the normal delivery fee for a priority order, and your driver has just fucked off to a couple of addresses. And the hoops they make you go through. Like, they'll give you some flim-flam about, the rider's delivering it now. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, but that's not the point. and then they close the chat, so you then have to reopen the chat.
Oi, I hadn't finished.
Literally that, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating that these digital companies, that you cannot just actually talk to a human.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, I know you want to do something on this topic, but
yeah, absolutely. No, I was sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, because I said before that, you know, especially maybe me and Andy again, you know, like we want to sort of, well, I definitely would like to sort of take a deeper dive into AI and discuss everything about that sort of thing in a future episode. But yeah, sorry, carry on for now.
Yeah.
But
so, you know, first things first, you've got to hit the AI chatbot before you can even get to a human.
yes. And you can't even guarantee that you got a human at that point either, can you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the options none of the options you get from the chatbot meet the question or issue that you have.
No.
It vaguely touches on it, like, are you alive? Well, yes, I am, but that's not my issue.
Yes. Only just, but I'm starving and hungry.
Yeah. In the one hand, I have a cold meal that I want to get in the microwave, but at the same time, I want to make sure that you do not fucking disappear out of chat. You know, so yeah, it's just Uber and Deliveroo, you know, because the other things that I've seen as well, like I'll order from Wendy's.
We got a Wendy's over here, have we?
Yeah, I've got Wendy's, I've got Popeyes, I've got
have you?
Yeah.
Oh, because we haven't got any of that in Weymouth. So, there you go.
He has a Tim Hortons opening up down the road.
Ooh.
But I've heard bad things about Tim Hortons. My friend says to avoid, they're not nice.
Oh, okay.
So,
Well, I don't know, because I've never had it, so.
I'm not going to listen. I'm still going to try it.
Yeah.
We've got a Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah, we got one of those in Poole. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. So
We've got nothing in Weymouth. I mean, the most glamorous thing is probably McDonald's.
So I've ordered my Baconator, basically.
I'll laugh at me and joke that.
Yeah, I'm filling in for James, remember? So you know, I've got my Baconator and my 8 spicy nuggets waiting at Wendy's, and all I can see is, oops, trying to find another rider. Oops, trying to find another rider. And I'm like, my food's getting cold, my food's getting cold, my food's getting cold.
Yeah.
And then someone does go to pick it up, but no, they're going to go to Wagamama's first and pick up something from Wagamama's before they then go and collect my order. And my order's already sort of gone through 3 fucking riders.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, sorry, I think it's because you have levels of tips. Mm-hmm. And at this point, I'm already like 15 quid deep into an order. Yeah. Just to try and make the thresholds of getting an order. Why for one order, why the fuck am I putting a £5 tip plus the £5 for delivery? Mm-hmm. Because now I've spent 25 quid just for a fucking burger. So I think it's because I only tip like 10% and not 20 or 30% is why people don't do the pickup.
Yeah, it might be, but also, can I just say that this is definitely a first world problem, and could you not just get in your car and drive to Wendy's yourself and just pick it up? Because it sounds like you're going through so much hassle, and you could actually just go and pick it up yourself and get it home and start eating it.
Because it would cost me 8 quid to park my car.
Oh, is it not free parking?
Oh God, no.
No, okay. Well, still though. 8 quid compared to the extra £10 that you're pretty much paying, it's kind of a little bit.
No, but then I've got to get into actual clothes. I then got to walk to the garage compound, unlock the compound, get my car out the compound, lock the compound, then drive 15 minutes into town, park, pay, walk, collect, walk back, navigate back to the car, drive back 15 minutes, get out of the car, unlock the compound, put the car into the compound, walk out of the compound, lock the compound, walk to my door.
Right, I see that this is actually a massive issue, and I do apologise for laughing it off.
Yeah. This is a first world problem, and this is what Hangry Andy has to go through.
Yeah.
You don't want Hangry Andy on the roads. No,
definitely not. Maybe just order it in the afternoon and it will be there by tea time.
And then I can microwave it. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'll say it is very much a first world problem, but I think a lot of it could be solved if these digital companies would just allow you to talk to a human being and maybe not have restaurants start making the food until an actual rider has said, yeah, I'll pick this up.
Yes.
Because they want me to get the refund. Sorry, they want me to get the refund from the restaurant, and it's not the restaurant's fault.
No, it's Uber's fault. No, it's definitely...
and that's my beef.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Oh, he got a puncture in his tire.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's not fair. It's not fair. To be honest, like, you know, I do tend to go to the takeout places myself, but also that's because there's free parking as well. Paying for parking is a big issue for me. And I hate it, but there we have it. Also, Weymouth is tiny. So, you know, like, I could probably, if I had the energy, walk there, you know, kind of thing. But it's not really that close that I could actually walk there. It's, you know, it is a drivable way. But anyway, paying the extra, like, 10, 15 quid or whatever it is for, you know, for shipping. I'm still in work brain.
Next day delivery signed for.
Yeah, it's not actually 10, 15 quid either. It's usually about £2, but you do have to spend a certain amount, don't you, to actually get that £2 deal. But so
that's it. But I do have a wonderful Chinese and fish and chip shop a 10-minute walk away, which I do frequent when I can, but it gets a bit samey.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely. But, you know, at least I hope you walk there or drive there at least.
No, I walk. It's 10 minutes. It's fine.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I was going to say, please tell me you don't Uber Eats from there.
I'm not that level of lazy.
No, good. Definitely good. Right. So now that we've got Codswallops out of the way, like I said, I don't really have any this week, so I'm only going to bring them to the show when I really have them. So,
and I was forced to write these down, which is why you've got the quality that you've got. I
know, but how much better is it actually to have written them down and then you remember them and then you can talk about them? See what I mean? Yeah,
but, you know, they, as you mentioned, they are very much first world problems.
But that's okay. That means I can just mock you for a few minutes. That's fine.
It's all about the content with you, isn't it?
It is. It's all about making the salties laugh. Well, trying to, at least, anyway. Yes. Not always succeeding, but who knows? You know, I try. I'm very trying.
You are very trying. Also, you try. Yes, you do. You try hard.
Yes, you also try hard to not talk into your microphone. Stop it.
What now?
Oh, shush. Do you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to edit you when you do that?
I can imagine it's a real pain in the backside. Yes.
Yeah, it is. Because I have to try and move the little section where you're talking like this away from your microphone, and then you come up really loud, and then it's like, oh god, I need to make those two very similar. So yeah, just keep that in your mind.
See, listeners, you see what Gemma has to go through to make an episode sound mwah.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You better be telling all your friends and smashing the like buttons and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. And what I'm thinking of getting is a little, either from your chin or from your nose, I'm not sure yet, but like an arrow that touches the microphone, so that when you're touching the microphone with the arrow, you know that you're close enough to the microphone.
Do you know what? I don't think that'll work. I think what you actually need to do is find a metal fabricator to design a head cage.
Okay, yep.
That is desk mounted, so, you know, I have to bolt it to the desk.
Yep.
The microphone is inbuilt into the head cage.
Yeah.
And basically it's with about probably like a millimetre or two either side.
Yep.
It just fits my head, so I cannot move my head and I can only face the mic. That's basically what you need.
Okay, I'll get on
for
that.
Consistency, yeah.
My brother does work in that sort of line of work-ish. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. There's my Christmas and birthday present sorted. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Like an Iron Maiden type thing.
Pretty much, yeah. Just with the podcaster edition.
Yeah, I'll put some stickers on it so it looks all pretty.
You could put little mount points of webcams, so basically it's a real super close up of like my eyeball or something.
That's the alternative, actually, that we start doing video recording so I can watch you and I can see if you're actually talking into your microphone properly. We'll see.
Oh, God, 1984 much. Attention, all salties. Attention, all salties. This is a Salty Tadpole announcement. Hey, Salty Tadpoles, Andy here. Big apologies. I know you all submitted a load of content and were looking forward to hearing Gem and I talk about games. Unfortunately, the recording went on for far too long and, we were thinking of you and we've decided to split this week's episode into two. So what you've just heard is all of me getting all of my anger and rage off of my chest and poor Gem just sitting there listening and pretending that she also had empathy. So the games episode will be released in 2 weeks' time. And all I can do is apologise for that and for the fact you've just lost 40 minutes or so of your life. So with that, I think Gem and I have been talking enough Codswallop, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.